The drums of Adùnní had not sounded since Adùnní defied the oracle. No market songs. No praise chants. No sacred rhythms. Just silence, thick, tense, dangerous. At the center of that silence stood Adùnní, her veil of rebellion still fresh upon her head. The cockroach crowed, but the village did not stir. Adùnní stood barefoot in the courtyard, watching the sun bleed across the sky. In her hands, she held a cloth, part wedding veil, part war banner, soaked with river mist and thorn petals from the night before. Inside, her mother, Òlálékan, paced. "You've made us enemies of the shrine," she whispered. Adùnní turned, her eyes quiet. "They made us prisoners of fear. The night guard may come for you. For us. They do not forgive defiance. Then they can come. I have chosen my voice. I will not silence it again." At the palace, the Oba sat with the council of elders, 12 men whose faces bore more lines than their words. Òlálékan, the high priest, stood in the shadows, silent. "What she has done," one elder muttered, "has never happened before." "That," said Òlálékan slowly, "is why it must not happen again." "She's family to the throne," the Oba said. "My sister's daughter." "Which makes it more dangerous," Òlálékan replied. "The people are watching. If they see her rebel and leave, they will question everything." The elders nodded. "Then let us remind them why the oracle is obeyed," said the oldest. A judgment was made. In the hills above Adùnní, Òlálékan kept his hands busy, carving a rose into the handle of a staff, smoothing wood to silence his nerves. But nothing could quiet his fear. Adùnní had returned to the village alone. She had insisted. "You're the hunted," he had said. "So are you," she had replied. "But I am louder. Let them chase me." He watched the smoke rise from the village in the distance. It was too quiet. "We are at the edge of something," he whispered. "But I don't know which side it will fall." The oracle shrine was no longer just a place of prophecy. It had become a weapon. Òlálékan knelt before the ancestral fire. He spoke not to gods, but to the council of unseen ones. She must be silenced. Not killed. If she dies, they will remember her as a martyr. We must break her, turn her voice into madness, her love into shame. From the fire rose a vision, Adùnní in chains, her face blank, her voice stolen. He smiled. "Yes, let it begin." At sunrise, the palace drums returned, but not in celebration. They beat a summons. Adùnní was called to stand before the oracle again, this time, not for prophecy, but for punishment. Òlálékan clutched her arm. "You do not have to go. If I don't, I prove their fear is stronger than my truth." She wore plain white, no beads. The market watched as she walked alone to the palace steps. The crowd was silent, not in judgment, but in awe. No one had ever returned after defying the oracle. She was the first. Inside the oracle chamber, Òlálékan stood with scroll in hand. Adùnní, daughter of Adùnní, stand accused of blasphemy, of dishonoring sacred law, and of waging spiritual treason. Do you deny it? I deny the lie, she answered. But not the truth of love. Gasps. The oracle mask was lowered once again. Smoke filled the air. Let the spirit speak, the priest declared. But the mask did not glow. It did not speak. Only silence. The crowd murmured. Confused. Òlálékan's voice grew louder. You see. The spirits withdraw from her. But Adùnní stepped forward. No. The spirits are listening. She turned to the crowd. Ask yourselves, when did the oracle become a weapon? When did it stop guiding and start commanding? More murmurs. Some heads bowed. Others raised. Òlálékan's eyes narrowed. Enough. He raised a black bowl, smoke pouring from within. Suddenly, Adùnní collapsed. She awoke in darkness. Floating. A world of drums that beat without sound. Faces surrounded her, women with veils, men with shackles, children with sealed lips. One stepped forward, a woman crowned in woven gold and tears. "You were what I wore once," she said. "But you dared to scream. They silenced us. Do not let them silence you." A single glowing rose bloomed before Adùnní. She reached out and woke up, chained. Adùnní was locked below the palace. But her silence was not broken, it was building. Ayalawa screamed at the guards. "She is not a criminal." No answer. That night, she snuck in and whispered through the bars. "We will not leave you." Adùnní smiled. "Then they have already lost." In the forest, Òlálékan received the news. He carved no more. He took the half-finished rose staff and began to walk, not as a lover, but as a reckoning. They made her the enemy. I will show them she is the truth. And so, beneath the silence of drums, a storm was forming. Not of blood, not of fire, but of voices rising. One would become many.